I'm Henry Acosta, and welcome to Health Professional Radio. Today we're here with Dr. Huyen Tran. He completed his medical degree at Monash University and spent 2 years at McMaster University in Ontario, Canada to complete his Master of Clinical Epidemiology and joined the Hematology Consortium as a senior hematologist. His main focus right now is on clinical research on hematology. He's currently the head of Thrombosis and Haemostasis unit at the Alfred Hospital. Today we're here to talk about thrombosis and how it's affecting thousands of lives around Australia. Also, we're here to help raise awareness on World Thrombosis Day, which is a global movement recognized on October 13. Welcome to the show, Dr. Huyen, and happy World Thrombosis Day. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me, and happy World Thrombosis to you and your listeners.
Thank you. So let's get the interview started. For our first question, can you give us any insight and can you tell us what thrombosis is?
Yeah, so thrombosis is essentially the abnormal formation of blood clots in either an artery or a vein. And the consequence of this is it either reduces the flow of blood or completely obstruct the flow of blood to the critical organ, resulting in damage to the organ to which the blood flow or from which the blood flow is going from. So there are three major contributors to thrombosis. One is a heart attack, two is ischemic stroke, and three is venous thromboembolism. That is blood clots in the legs, such as deep vein thrombosis, or pulmonary embolism, or blood clots in the lung. So the first two are pretty well known, but it's the third component, venous thrombosis, which we really need more awareness for.
And how does thrombosis lead to other major diseases or injuries?
Yeah, so if you develop a stroke, then that's where you have a blood clot in an artery to the brain. Then you will have the consequences of a stroke, such as not being able to move one side or not being able to talk. Now, if you have a blood clot in the heart, the coronary blood vessels, then that will end up in a heart attack, and that can damage the function of the heart. The last one is that if you get a blood clot in the legs, the deep vein thrombosis, and more seriously, if you get a blood clot in the lung, then that blocks the circulation in the lung, and hence you can potentially die if not treated.
And why do you think people do not have enough knowledge on thrombosis and its impact around the world?
I think it's awareness. It really is an issue of education and awareness. You be aware that there are about up to 10 million episodes of blood clots per year around the world, and 1 in 4 individuals can die from thrombosis-related disorder. So we need to do more to make people aware of the situations when they are at risk for venous thrombosis, and also recognize the symptoms associated with thrombosis so that they can seek medical attention.
And can you explain to us what the World Thrombosis Day is about?
So World Thrombosis Day is our main theme this year, is to know your thrombosis. So really exact that is to raise awareness about thrombosis, because at this time we've seen that in the US and in Europe there are more deaths due to thrombosis-related disorders than the combined deaths from AIDS, breast cancer, prostate cancer, and motor vehicle accidents. So we want to make people more aware so that we can reduce these incidents.
And how can we support and help the cause for World Thrombosis Day?
So be aware, listening to your show, and also there is a World Thrombosis Day website, which you can go to, and you can actually join on site, and there's various social media on there as well that you can join to, and you'll find on that website there are many personal stories where people can relay what happened to them to make others more aware of this condition.
And What can we do as citizens to help raise awareness on thrombosis and its dangers?
I think that to be aware of this condition that is out there and more common. And I think in terms of prevention of venous thrombosis, be aware when you are at high risk, for example, when you're in hospital, when you're having an operation, or if you have a break of your leg, or if you're elderly and you're worried about strokes, then you need to go and see your GP just to make sure that your heart rate is regular or not regular, and to have the appropriate investigation so that you can be prescribed the appropriate medication to prevent thrombosis.
And you mentioned something about embolism a while ago. So why does thrombosis always get mixed up with embolism? What are their main defining factors? Yeah,
so in essence, they're really one of the same. So when you develop an abnormal blood clot, it either grows, but there'll be a time when it grows to such a size that's liable to break off. And that breaking off, it goes to a critical organ, and that's what we call embolization. So, for example, if you have a big deep vein thrombosis, that can actually break off and embolize to the lung to give you a pulmonary embolism, and that's when it's most dangerous.
And what's the most common misconception that people have about thrombosis?
I suspect the most common misconception is just that they're not aware and that it's an inconsequential disorder. But in fact, we now know that, as I've said, 1 in 4 people die from thrombotic-related disorders. So we need to make people more aware and change that statistic.
And for a last question, for anyone who wants to contact you and for those who want to support the cause and contribute to World Thrombosis Day and to know more about thrombosis, how can they get in touch with you?
So a number of ways. One is the World Thrombosis Day website. 2 is in Australia. We have the Australian Society of Thrombosis and Haemostasis, and you can go to that website there, asth.org.au, and certainly all the relevant people who are interested in the condition who lead this field can be contacted via that site.
Well, thanks for being on the show, Huyen, and thanks for helping raise awareness on World Thrombosis Day.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And for more information, listeners can head to the www.worldthrombosisday.org. Again, that was Dr. Huyen Tran. He's the head of Thrombosis and Haemostasis Unit at the Alfred Hospital. He was here today with us to help raise awareness on thrombosis and World Thrombosis Day. If you've missed this interview or want to listen to it again, you can find us on www.healthprofessionalradio.com.au or hpr.fm. You can also subscribe to our podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes.